Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to today's video. I'm gonna be getting into breaking down a bit about ICC entries in terms of how you can be take advantage of the market and depending on what the market is doing at the time. You get what I'm saying? So this is purely based on market structure wise. Even there's some entries that they don't require market structure, but all in all, it will depend with like I always say, like you need to have a trading plan. So everything else has to be in correlation or like um be part of your trading plan in terms of it sticks to what you're looking to get from the market, especially in terms of your targets, also in terms of your entry criteria. You get what I'm saying? So obviously the model is there. That's number one. Number two is gonna be the entry criteria in terms of how to build a trading plan, and then the number three is gonna be your risk to reward, which also goes hand in hand with your entry criteria. So these are just gonna be some of the examples that I'm gonna be getting into, breaking down those entries and how you can take advantage or how you can be looking to get into the market and what to actually look for. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty much guys. So you're gonna get into that. So yeah, let's do that, So overall I like what I always like to do when I start my top down analysis. I like to start them from the 4 hour. Reason mainly because I want to know what the overall structure is doing at the moment and the time. I know we can, take entries from the 4 hour, but clearly we can be able to understand, the overall movement from a higher time frame perspective, and then be having to break down ICC on a lower time frame perspective. You get what I'm saying? So I mainly start from the 4 hour. I used to start from the 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, but then at the long run, I realized that I end up getting caught most of the time and on the wrong side of the market, thinking this may be, the continuation of the 1 hour, only to, realize that only prices are correcting on the 4 hour. So you end up getting caught on all of those movements. Get what I'm saying? So overall, I started to, look at the 4 hour, then go to the 1 hour, and then go to the 15 minute and 5 minute for entries. Get what I'm saying? So overall that I always want to do start with the 4 hour and then understand what we do have on the 4 hour based on what the 4 hour is showing us. You get what I'm saying? So obviously what I want to do is I want to look for moments where, or I want to look for instances where price kind of broke either to the upside or to the downside depending what price is going. In this case, price broke to the upside. Price never came back to correct this level. Instead, price continued to build up to the upside. But here's the thing: with range, one thing I've realized is that with range, that if price breaks out of a swing point, a swing high, and it doesn't come in correct, eventually it will come back to correct and then continue to the upside. You get what I'm saying? So in this case, this is what gold is kind of doing. We in this we've had this point where we had a break of structure going to the upside, where price ended up making us an indication. We had a break of structure where price ended up going to the upside, which ended up being an indication. Price didn't ultimately come and correct, so price just continued to the upside, and it did not come and correct, even also going to the upside. So it never even came back to correct some of these levels where the break of structure continued to happen. You get what I'm saying? So price just continued to go to the upside and continued giving indications even on the 1 hour. You get what I'm saying? So obviously, with that in mind, this is what we want, this is what we've been seeing, right? So, I really saw this point where price that kind of broke above, price broke above this level over here, right? So with price breaking above this level, remember we have a break of structure happening. Price ended up giving us an indication about this level above these swing highs. But previously we've had price in a range where price was on these highs over here, right? Where price was there this highs over here, and then we had this high and this high low over here. And you may ask, why did I take this high and this low? Obviously, from also the previous range that was happening, we had also this high price on the 4 hour ended up coming to make the create that higher high, and then price also coming back to create, also that high high ended up making this high low. So price, you can see, also ended up giving an indication to the upside, came back to correct to the downside, and price moved to the upside also, which ended up being the indication to the upside. Price also came back to correct these levels without even breaking the high lows created, and then price started to shift to the upside. But within this high and this higher low which we created, price also ended up creating these over here, where price ended up, giving some sort of an indication above these equal highs and coming to correct them, and price going to the upside. So we also have an internal, indication where price ended up, having to make, before it even broke above these, price ended up also making this indication on these, highs over here, price going to the upside. So if you still struggling in terms of, identifying some of the swing point, trust me, the fractals highs thing, I don't really like it that much, but I would highly recommend this high, lower, low strategy. It's not always also 100%, but it can be in a position where it can show you what is currently happening on the market. So you can mark those things based on how you see the market, what is what the market is doing. Obviously, if you had instances like this where price end up being high, low, and then going to the upside, even though it's being high highs and high lows, you want to see price coming back to correct this level. You know for sure, because price hasn't corrected this level. You want to see price coming back to correct that level. So we had more like the same thing happening, even though price did come with this, with this week. For me, I really don't consider this as a correction whatsoever, because even on the 15 minute, this week, this was still a weak price reject us very much here, to show that the level of buyers which were in control at this level over here, over these highs, it was very, the buyers were still really, pushing price from these levels, pushing to the upside. So price ended up going all to the new all-time highs that we are at this current moment. You get what I'm saying? So with that being in mind, we had that level. Obviously, like I said, I wouldn't really consider it like the 1 hour also still showing the same thing. Price also needs some sort of a consolidation at this zone over here. As you can see, we had price some sort of a consolidation over here, right? And then price broke below to the downside. The 1 hour, as you can see, also rejected. The 15 minute also rejected. So this for me, I wouldn't really, you see, the 15 minute also rejected. So this for me, I wouldn't really consider it that very much. Even so, it did happen. Yeah, sure, it did happen, but I wouldn't really consider it that much, right? So we had a break above, break of structure above these levels, also price giving us an indication to the upside on the 15 minute. You get what I'm saying? So we had a break of structure, also on the 1 hour actually. It happened on the 1 hour actually. So we had a break of structure above those levels, and our price going to the upside, as you can see. Price end up going to the upside, price end up making this high, made this high low. Also, look at how price didn't come and correct this level also, right? Price ended up making this range where it made the higher high at this level over here, and then obviously price after making that higher high, and then price ended up making this higher low. You get what I'm saying? So with this being made, this higher high and this higher low being made, price didn't come and correct these previous, consolidation that was happening here, right? Or these previous highs where price, broke from. You get what I'm saying? Price ended up making a new indication, even continuing to the upside, without even also coming to correct back this level. And most people will like, oh, but how do we take these entries? How do we get to, take advantage of the market, because price is not showing us anything? You get what I'm saying? So I've seen the recent video of Sai when he was explaining this, how he got into an entry at this level. But what I like about mentorship is that you get to understand things from a different perspective. As much as Sai is giving you, some of the things that to understand, like, oh, this was his thought process. It is very hard for you when you get into the market, especially when you don't know anything, for you to be able to spot those opportunities and take advantage of them. You get what I'm saying? So what I like about the Hustle University is that we provide mentorship. Trust me, we're not selling a course. We provide mentorship to understand market structure and how you can fully take advantage of the markets whenever it's in those these kind of instances where I'm gonna show you how you could have easily taken advantage of it. You get what I'm saying? So right. So you get to this point where price, we end up seeing price that, okay, even if price got to this level over here, price ended up making this highs, right? Price ended up making this highs, came to the downside, created a low. You know what I'm saying? And these are the higher lows. Because why do we say these are the higher lows? Because the previous higher lows were this here. So these were the previous higher low. So this can be a lower low because it's the previous high, it's the current higher low. It's above this previous higher low. So it cannot be a lower low. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you can now go down to the likes of 15 minutes. So I want to show you something that you could have easily, been able to take advantage of, right? So you have that highs over here, right, being marked, and you're like, okay, maybe price can eventually come back to correct these levels over here. So as you can see, price is really showing building structure to the downside, right? Price also is building structure to the downside. You have price making a lower low, a lower high. Why do I not mark this one? Because they're in between that high and this low over here on the 15 minutes. So they are within range of that high and that low. You get what I'm saying? So even with that being made, so still the case. You get what I'm saying? A new lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. You get what I'm saying? Price is going to the downside. It's making lower lows and lower highs. You get what I'm saying? If you are someone who can take advantage of understanding how to trade, price with the correction, you could have easily taken advantage of it. How do I mean by that also, right? So as you can clearly see, price going to the upside, price is building higher lows on the 15 minute, right? The previous higher low that was made was this one over here. All right, this was the previous higher low in the 15 minute that was made. This was a higher low, right? That's where price ended up breaking to the downside. Price ended up breaking these higher lows over here, right? End up breaking these higher lows over here. After that, price made a lower, a higher low and a lower high, which could have gave us that, then that price is now ready to go to the downside. Price might break to the downside to the 15 minute. So the very same way you treat the higher time frames, you can treat the small time frames, especially 15 minute, because from the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15 minutes, that's where you can be able to find these entries. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, indicating to the downside, price goes correct, gives you a lower high, and then from these levels over here, that's where you could afford got an entry also, be there from the 5 minute or the 1 minute, whatever the case may have been, or depending on how you could have, chose to pursue it. One of the ways which I was gonna show you also earlier, it was one of the ways that I'm gonna show you earlier. From the 15 minute, you can start even from the 15 minute, because 15 minutes is also one of the things that you can start taking an entry from, right? So you could have easily said, okay, I'm gonna be taking my entry below this level and my stop loss, even if price from, I'm gonna have my stop loss about the lower highs created, and I can take price to the downside, whatever 1:3, whatever the case may be, or whatever 1:1, depending on your risk to reward ratio, right? Or even if you could have aimed for these over here, like, okay, I'm gonna aim for these, for price to come back, correct back to these levels over here. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you're thinking that, okay, price might actually go back and correct over there. You get what I'm saying? So this is one of the ways you can fully take advantage of it, right? So while on the 15, something interesting did happen after price created this low. So as you can see, price goes up, create a high, another lower high, right? And then after price creates a lower high, price ends up creating a higher low. The very same way price ended up making a market structure shift after creating a lower high, while price was supposed to make high highs and high lows, continue to the upside. Price ended up making a lower high to the downside. Now price makes a higher low. Right, strange, right? Okay, right. So you can see that, okay, price, now we have this lower high, which, okay, we see price makes a higher low. Probably price can come and take that lower high out. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's see what price drives. Price still in this range of this lower high and this higher low over here, right? And as you can see, with price even going to the upside, even on the 5 minute, price was making some sort of a structure, breaking structure, going to the upside. Then eventually price ends up breaking above these 15-minute lower highs. You get what I'm saying? One could have easily said, okay, I'm gonna be having a buy position at this level over here, right? A buy position over this level, stop loss below the high lows created, and I'm gonna take my 1:1 position, or I'm just gonna continue taking maybe even a 1:3, or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? 1:2, 1:2, 1:3, you get what I'm saying? Whatever you guys call, risk to reward. You get what I'm saying? Some of you call it one, one is to one R, two is to one R. You get what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. So this would have been one of those entries where you could have been like, oh, you can see price ends up going. Eventually, price ends up going to the upside. You get what I'm saying? So would have been one of those entries where price ends up going to the upside. But also from these entries, obviously, this what I've just shown you here is mostly what you can do for 1:1. You get what I'm saying? Because even if price was going to, let's say price had corrected back to a certain high, and price starts to make the shift in market structure, obviously you should make use of the previous, lower high being taken out. You get what I'm saying? In this case, I would have easily, obviously at some point, some people can go with this one. You're still fine. I mean, lower high, lower low, higher low, price could have, easily went to the upside. take that out or take this out, because the reason why I stuck with that one, because this lower high and this higher low ended up being the one where price didn't either break either above or below. Get what I'm saying? So that's why I ended up, if price had broken below from here, I would have also used this lower high and then being able to carry price to the upside. You get what I'm saying? So now we end up having price giving us a new indication to the upside, right? So obviously you can think like, okay, price should be able to come and correct this level. So let's see if price comes and correct this level. So you can also take advantage of that market at the very same time. You get what I'm saying? So there goes price. Price starts to unfold. Price starts to unfold, and we want to take full advantage of price. Price starts to come to unfold. You get what I'm saying? So as you can see, price didn't come all the way also to correct. Same way price didn't come all the way also to correct the previous highs on the 1 hour, and same thing also on this 1 hour. Price didn't come back to correct all the way. You get what I'm saying? So same thing. As you can see, price starts to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, break, I mean high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, lower high, breaks to the downside, lower low, lower high, lower low. So now this is where things have to get interesting, because on the 15 minute we had this lower high over here, right? The previous lower high over here, where price ends up taking out this lower high, as you can see, right? Price ends up taking this lower high, as you can see, which also, by the way, on the 15 minute end up being an indication about this level. Same thing up, which ended up, this was a market structure shift after price made a higher low. You get what I'm saying? End up introducing market structure shift. So it could have been an entry where you like taking price to the upside, stop below the high lows. Now this one would have been different. Now this one, price breaks above this lower high, only then price makes a higher low after it corrects. You get what I'm saying? With the correction on the 15 minute, price makes a higher low. Right here, price did what? Made a higher low and then broke to the upside, higher low, going to the upside. We could have also even here taken price even like so. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, we're gonna use this higher low from these levels, stop brothers below the higher lows, and then taking price to the upside on a clear 1:3, and then this would have been the trade for the day, 1:3. There you have it. Because now, why do we say higher low? This was also more of an indication. Price came to correct to the downside, and then immediately price made a higher low, and then went to the upside. So with that being said, this is in correlation with the overall trend. So we call it the market structure correlation, the MSC concept. Where you combine ICC with market structure correlation. So this is the entry where you always your take profit is always a 1:3. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, more or less the same thing also here. Price breaks above, give us a higher low, and then obviously you mark the high created in this instance, which would have been this. So obviously, with that being said, this would have been prices starting to develop. You get what I'm saying? So this, right, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have my buy stop exactly at this area. I'm gonna have my buy stop waiting for me at this area, and then obviously my long position would be like something like this, stop orders below the higher lows over here. Obviously, as price goes up, it triggers your buy stop. Obviously, like I said, stop loss below here. Let's say your stop loss was just about $300. So you should be able to make about $900 if you're going for a 1:3. You get what I'm saying? So you should be able to make about $900 because you're risking $300 to make about 1:3. You get what I'm saying? So 1:3, there you have it. 1:3. So this here goes the trade. So probably I think you'd have still been in this trade. I'm not sure if this trade did hit, but yeah, I think maybe would have still been in this trade even so now. But I think yeah, I think yeah, almost did hit. So based on where the market is at the moment, yeah, would have almost hit. So this is just from what you can observe. You get what I'm saying? So also we had a new break also at the top over here. So chances are going into the new week, this coming week, price can still continue to give us new highs. Even just like side did mention, it might even come up until 5,100 just to squeeze price in, with continuing to the upside. Because as you can see, we have an indication to the upside. Even on the 1 hour, this is how price eventually looks. We have an indication price came to correct. Even now, you saw price can still continue to move to the upside. So that's how you can even get to those levels and fully take advantage of those situations. Get what I'm saying? So price ends up making high, 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 low, lower, high, high, lower, low, and then breaks about to the upside, breaks about these also. So if you were to take advantage from these levels, this would be not ideal for me. Why? Because it's closer to where the indication is at. You know what I'm saying? It's much closer to where the indication is at. So I wouldn't really fully, indulge. But from the 5 minute, I don't know if the 5 minute is really bad presented and something. But yeah, it would have, but it wouldn't have been ideal still for me to say I wanna go into something like this. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, this is new territory for gold. So I wouldn't wanna, put myself in those kind of situations. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty much, guys. So this is how you can fully take advantage of some of these entries, or using market structure concept, market structure correlation, market structure correlation, MSC concept, combining it with ICC. Or you can also, some of the things in terms of trading a one is to one. It's not a problem trading a one is to one. You can still aim for a one is to one. The same way people be aiming for one is to threes, whatever the case may be. This trade over here, right? Indication correction, price breaks above here, even with this one over here, right? Price makes an indication, comes to the downside, stop loss just below the high low, the low high lows, or the low that created the indication in this case, because price is going to the upside. The low that created an indication in this case, and then you aim for a one is to one. It's still something that you can usually do because why? Shifting market structure, price creates a higher high. You should be able to come and create the higher low, and then price taking price to the upside. Even here also would have been the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So obviously here, in this case, would have been price stop losses below the higher lows, where price ended up getting that indication, right? So remember, we on the 5 minute, right? So price and then a one is to one, there you have your one is to one. It would have been unfolded. You get what I'm saying? Because the 15 minute, this I would have looked on the 15, right? Indication, correction, buy stops triggered, one is to one. So this is how you can fully take advantage. Even with this one, market structure shift to the downside, price comes and corrects. Your sell stop is waiting at this level over here. Stop loss below the lower highs that eventually caused that market structure shift to happen. And then obviously on a one is to one basis, your one is to one, there you go. So one is to one ends up hitting. So some people be like, oh, but the one is to one is too small. Trust me, one is to one is not small, not even a bit. You flip that thing your account 5 times, full margin 5 times, you flip it 5 times, you up one is to 32 just by using one is to one and knowing where to spot your entries. Most of the time, the shift in market structure, change of characters, those ones do definitely have a one is to one, attached to them. So you can fully take advantage of them and then be able to take those trades, to the opposite side. And we have a general winning streak that actually feeds into, your trading, style or whatever the case may be. So that's how, I always talk about it. So this is the Hustle University. I'm just gonna show you our Discord. So this is the Hustle University in terms of, what you always talk about in that university. We do have, those London sessions and New York sessions. Sometimes I'm not available, so I won't be doing maybe like New York, or if I'm available around New York, I will do New York. And if I'm not gonna be available around London, I'm not gonna do London. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, it's mostly New York session and London session, live market analysis with the team. If you do get an entry, I tell them about it. This is how you can go about it and all this kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying? So it's taking a bit long to load. Yeah, but that's how you can be able to fully, get into it. I don't know why it's taking so long, but generally, so yeah, we have people, they making Will, as Will is talking about, passing a funded challenge, all of, doing 7 trades taken, and these are his overall win rate, all these kind of things, and then the one on gold also, the one is three on gold that was taken all this, over the weekend and so and so. The guys are also, taking their wins, was it the one is to three, one is to one or something? Yeah, one is to one RR, you see. Also from market structure, price broke above here, also taking price to the upside. All these kind of things, live London sessions, we always do on here on Discord. The guys, yeah, pretty much, the guys are getting in. Guys are, 1:1, also another 1:1 TP, then S again. They're the guys, the guys are happy, man. The guys are making it, killing it nicely done. There's some of the things that you can find. We do have, ICC notes that you'll find on the Discord that you can be able to read through, and then practice, whatever the case may be. We have this, the sessions that we always do are always recorded, so we don't have to miss anything. So if you maybe like on a different time zone or those kind of things, you won't have to miss anything. And then we do have the ICC master lessons that we always do whenever we have something, I have something to talk about, so based on the last one, our last session was about psychology and trading plan, having to put that in place, which is very, very crucial that you do that. You get what I'm saying? So other than that, guys, yeah, thank you very much, for watching this video. I hope this video was very insightful. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, guys. And any questions, don't forget, don't be afraid to comment down below and ask any questions, whatever question that you might have, in regards to entries, whatever the case may be. Get what I'm saying? So we have a new Telegram channel up and running also. So yeah, well, I'm not frequently there, but I'm gonna start, having or having to open that line of communication also more frequently, or ensuring that we always, active on all platforms, and then you guys can be able to get on top of that. So also, if you want to join the Hasi University, yeah, if you want to join the Hasi University, this is what we have. So if you want to join the Hasi University, this is all the thing that you're gonna be, getting from joining the Hasi University. I don't know why this thing's taking so long. Probably due to my Wi-Fi. Yeah, probably due to my Wi-Fi. Alright, so it's, yeah, loading a bit. But overall, this is what you're gonna get in terms of, lifetime access on the Hustle University mentorship program. Obviously, we have my ICC master license. I just showed you one-on-one classes on a weekly. We can do one-on-one, me and you, and to help you on a personal level. Live London, and New York session market analysis daily, trading support and psychology. You saw that also, and then trading entries techniques that are, some of them I just showed you, and then obviously by how you saw in terms of the students, and taking advantage of those markets, and them being able to make those kind of money, all those kind of things. And yeah, pretty much, man, that's how you get, and we do have over 50, yeah, we do have over 50, um we have over 50, students on the Discord community, on a private, community, the Hustle University. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, let's get it, let's get it. All right, thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video with some of your friends, and on your own, and watch whatever, how many times you like, and then yeah, pretty much, guys, pretty much. This is how you can take advantage of the market if price didn't come and correct back into the previous high. So this is how you can take advantage, just from using market structure. So basically, you just need to understand market structure, and then understanding those, market structure shift or change of character, whatever you guys call it, and then break off structures and all these kind of things, and then integrate everything with ICC, and then from there form your own personal, trading plan in terms of your model. Obviously, the model is going to be ICC, but then your entry criteria, which will go hand in hand with your risk to reward, and then your risk to reward also will then obviously be able to be in a position to help you, in terms of the entries that you're gonna be taking. Is it gonna affect your psychology? Are you gonna worry about hitting stop loss? All those kind of things. But yeah, pretty much, guys, this is how you can be able to take advantage of everything. All right, guys. Until next time, thank you for watching this video. Bye.